Hi, welcome to Awaken the High Value Queen, the show for high value, high standards women who desire more, deserve more, and are owning it fully, unapologetically. I've guided women to rise above and walk away from unfulfilling relationships and attract the man they truly desire, relationships where they truly feel valued and cherished, and love that feels delicious to their hearts and bodies. You're next. Together, we will awaken your queen power, unleash your main character energy, and amplify your feminine magnetism so that you step boldly into the life and love that truly honor who you are. Hit subscribe or follow and share this with every woman who deserves the best, and get ready because with every episode, we're going to dive deep and level up in our queen power. This is Awaken the High Value Queen Show. Come on up, Queen, and let's get to it. Welcome to the first episode of Awaken the High Value Queen. In case we haven't met yet, I'm your host, Wynel Joy Calling. I'm the creator of the Awaken the High Value Queen brand. I'm the author of the ebook Awaken the High Value Queen Within. I'm the founder of the Awaken the High Value Queen community. I'm also a dating coach and a real estate broker. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you what it truly means to be a high value woman, and how becoming her helped me break free from the patterns of dating hot but non-committal and toxic men. Some of them were even taking me shopping and giving me nice gifts. So there are a lot of misconceptions about what truly is a high value woman. A lot of people, even my past version of self, used to think that someone high value woman was someone who was good looking, rich, successful, smart, got all her shit together, has her ducks in a row. My idea before of what was a high value woman was all external, but that's not what a true high value woman is. Those can be effects of being a high value woman, but that's not what makes a woman high value. No external thing makes a woman high value. A woman's value is inherent. Her worth is inherent. She has the life force within her. She has God's creative energy, life force within her. And that alone makes her inherently high value. So every woman and even every man is inherently high value. But the thing is, in our society, we were programmed to think that high value depends on what we see externally. But it's quite the opposite. A truly high value woman, she knows, whether consciously or unconsciously, that she is inherently worthy. She's inherently valuable. No matter what's happening in her external circumstances, she knows that she's inherently high value. And that's what I want to impart with you. I want you to have that mindset and knowing and belief that you are inherently valuable. You are inherently high value just for existing. Okay? All of us are high value just for existing. Okay? But because a lot of us don't know this, a lot of us have a lot of unconscious beliefs that other people are more valuable than us if they're richer, if they're more beautiful, if they're fitter, if they're smarter, if they're more famous. They're higher value than us and we're lower value than them. That's a limiting belief, and that's not a true high value woman belief. A true high value woman, she first and foremost, she knows that she's inherently worthy. And because she knows that she's inherently worthy, she expresses that in all aspects or dimensions of her life. Because as humans, we're multidimensional beings. We have many dimensions, but I'm gonna discuss the four dimensions that are very obvious. We have a physical aspect of ourselves, our body, our physical looks. We have an emotional aspects of ourselves, and we have a mental aspect of ourselves and our spiritual aspects of ourselves. Our spiritual aspects of ourselves, it's the highest, truest versions of ourselves. It's when we are connected to our spiritual self, and when our physical, mental, and emotional are all aligned with our spiritual self. That's what people call authenticity. That's when you're most authentic. When your physical, emotional, and mental are all aligned to your spiritual self, to your core, to your who you are, in your core, without the beliefs that you adapted, the programs that were programmed to you, the identity even that you believe about yourself that may or may not be true. Your spirit is your core. That's your highest, truest self. That's your authenticity. The more you operate your life, your mental life, your emotional life, your spiritual life, your physical life, aligned with your spirit, with the truest, highest version of yourself, the more authentic you are. And the more you show up as a high value woman in the world, the more aligned you are, the more you are in integrity with your spirit you are, the more you're gonna express that in your mental world, in your mental aspect of yourself, in your emotional aspect of yourself, in your physical aspect of yourself, and your emotional aspect of yourself. Your relationships belong there. Your financial life belongs to your mental and emotional. Your relationships and your financial life are all results of how well you are expressed and aligned in your physical self, in your emotional self, in your mental self, how aligned they are to your spiritual self. A true high value woman is so connected to her spirit. She knows she's inherently worthy just for existing, and she expresses that in her physical, emotional, and mental world. And thus, as a natural effect of that, she's striving physically, so she's fit, she likes how she looks, she's beautiful, she's vibrant, her energy is vibrant, radiant. And emotionally, she has mutually respectful, mutually trusting, loyal relationships, not just romantic, but also with her friends, with her families. In her mental world, she's able to imagine things she desire and wants to create in her reality, in her world, and follow through with that. Follow through with the ideas, imaginations, inspirations she has with her mindset. Her mental world is so aligned to her spirit. So great relationships and great abundance of money, of financial life, are all just effect of that. So she knows that she's inherently worthy, and all aspects of her life are just expression of her knowing her inherent worth. Her worth is not dependent on anything external. For example, she's a millionaire. Because of the way she's been showing up in the world, she became a millionaire. But if she loses that millions, okay, she's gonna get disappointed. It's normal, she's human. She's gonna get disappointed that she lost the millions. But her worth is never dependent on the millions. And because she knows that her source is her creativity, her source is her ideas, her consciousness, her life force, her energy. That's the source of her millions. So she knows that even if she loses the millions, right away she's gonna realize, okay, I take full responsibility of that. I'm the one who created that millions. For some reason, I'm also the one responsible for losing that millions. I still have it within me. I'm gonna again learn better this time, do learn from a mistake this time, do better, and I'm gonna create the millions again, but this time I'm gonna sustain it. And the same with relationship. Her worth is not dependent on the relationships she has, because a lot of women, they feel validated when they have famous friends, beautiful friends, or a rich boyfriend. Their feelings of safety and worth is very much dependent on external things like having friends or having a boyfriend or having a husband, even at the expense of betraying themselves sometimes, and or a lot of times, or majority of the times in that relationship. A lot of women do not know their true worth, their true value is not connected to their inherent high valueness, inherent worthiness. Their ego is so attached to the external things, to the car, to the money, to the beautiful, cool friends, to the rich boyfriend, to the handsome boyfriend. Their ego is so attached to that they fear losing them, that they would do anything to cling on, to grasp, to control those things so that those things and people don't go away, so that they don't leave her, even at the expense of betraying herself. So a lot of women, they do things they don't want to do,
They betray themselves, they abandon themselves just so they're able to keep a relationship, just so they're able to keep a man, just so they're able to keep their cool girlfriends, even though those girlfriends are talking shit behind her back, even though the boyfriend is cheating on her. A true high value woman, she knows her inherent worth, so she expresses herself in the world from that inherent worthiness. She creates relationships and engages in relationships from that place where she knows she doesn't have to self betray. And because of that, she is a magnet to friends and romantic relationships that are honoring of who she is, that truly desire being with her, appreciate her value, values her presence just for her presence. You know, not because of her money, not because of her title, not because how famous she is, not because she's hot, not because she's beautiful. A lot of women, especially young women, have this problem. I used to be like this as well. I used to attract, especially when I was much younger. When I was much younger and I was still not yet connected to my inherent worth, I used to think that my worth was dependent on what I had externally. So I felt like I had to be rich no matter what. I had to be famous no matter what, even at the expense of my own integrity, even at the expense of betraying myself. So I did a lot of self betrayal in the past just to have what I thought I wanted externally. When you're young, first, you're inherently valuable just for existing as a human being. And two, you're inherently high value in romance. In romance, as a woman, we're a little bit higher value than the man, you know, in romance, okay? Just because just our feminine energy is high value. You don't have to do anything, especially when you're young. But even when you're older, you don't have to do anything. The right man will appreciate you, for your core energy, for your soul, not for what you have externally. And in love, no one is replaceable. No other person in the world, out of all 8 billion people, no other woman has your unique energy, has your unique soul blueprint, has your unique quirks. So the right man for you will love you, be attracted to you, commit to you for everything that you truly are, for your authenticity, for your soul. True love can only really be between two souls, you know, but you cannot attract another soul if you're not operating as soul. You're not operating as your spirit, as your most authentic self. And yes, I'm aware of all these things, but sometimes I still, you know, I'm also on the journey of of showing up in the world as my highest, truest self, as my most soul self, as my most authentic spiritual self. And part of me expressing that is me creating this podcast, this video. So old version of me who still was not connected to this new version of me, to the awareness that the new version of me has now. Old version of me would have created videos because my intention was still very murky. You know, I was still very much operating from my past programming. I wanted attention. I wanted money. You know, I was creating videos to try to get money and attention and popularity and fame. And if my one video every 6 months wouldn't get that millions of views or that millions of money, I would get discouraged, you know, because I would feel like, um, you know, I felt like I wasn't being validated. You know, I wasn't good enough because I was doing things to get. You know, I was creating video to try to get. That was part of my intention. A part of my intention also, I was always, a part of me was connected to that, to my spirit. I knew I love creating video, but I couldn't do it consistently because my ego was getting in the way, that if I wasn't getting the millions of views, the millions of followers, and the millions of money in my one video every 6 months, my ego would get like, I need to do more, I need to learn more so I can get this. But now that I'm in touch with my spirit, with authentic my authentic self, I'm getting there. You know, I'm in the journey also, but I'm getting more and more connected to my spirit, to my authentic self. Now, I create video because it's a natural expression of who I am. It's a natural expression of my desire. I desire creating videos. I desire sharing what I've learned. I feel like it's my purpose, it's my dharma. It's, in my ebook I shared laws that are aligned to manifestations, how to manifest your true king, and one of them is law of dharma. The more you're operating in life, showing up in the world, fulfilling your dharma, following your dharma, which is also law of divine direction, law of dharma, the more you're attractive to the right man for you, your true king. Your true king will see you and find you and come to you when you see you, find you, and be you. Okay, you don't have to do anything. You have to stop chasing the men like I used to. We all did. When you're not yet in touch with your high value self, you think you need to chase men, you think you need to perform for the men. I used to spend on men, I used to spend on date, I used to give men gifts, I used to, because I grew up without a father, so I did not have a model of a healthy romantic relationship between a man and a woman. But I have a son, and I was raised by my single mom, and I saw that the way my single mom was showing love to us was by providing for us, mothering us basically. So I thought love was about that. So when I was in relationship, I would mother them, I would provide for them. I thought that was me showing love, and I thought that's how things were. I thought that's how things were between men and women in a romantic setting, in a romantic love. But I learned the hard way that it's not. I learned that in a truly high value relationship between two high value men and women, the dynamic is, imagine the relationship is a boat. The man has to do most of the rowing, the role of the woman. So the man, the empowered masculine, he loves to do. His natural energy is aligned to doing, doing, doing. The empowered feminine, high value woman, her natural energy is aligned to being, looking beautiful, being, her presence, just her presence is the value. A lot of super successful men like Mark Zuckerberg, even Donald Trump, or if your idea of successful is different than Donald Trump and Mark Zuckerberg, but many other like Lewis House, many other Tony Robbins, many other. A lot of the super wealthy, super rich men accumulated a lot of their wealth mostly after they were married, or they were partnered with a woman, or they had a girlfriend, or they had a live-in partner. A lot of women become richer when they had the energy, the feminine energy, and the presence of a woman, of a muse that inspire them to do more. Because in a healthy relationship, you balance each other's energies. Your his masculine energy is balanced by your feminine energy. Your feminine energy is supported by his masculine energy, and that creates harmony. And when there's harmony in a relationship, that regulates your both of your nervous system. And a person whose nervous system is regulated is in her and his creative mode. So a man who has a woman that truly loves him, truly supports him, and is that, feminine energy presence muse for him, his nervous system becomes regulated, that now he has more creativity to do more in life. And when you do more, you have more. When you do more of the right things, the aligned things, you have more of the right things and the aligned things. Be, do, have. And for you to do more, you have to be more of who you truly are, be more of your empowered, inherent, high value energy. In a healthier relationship, the man is staying mostly in his masculine energy, like 80 to 90% of the time, and the woman is staying mostly in her feminine energy, like 80 to 90% of the time. When they're living together, the dynamic changes a little bit more. Maybe the woman becomes like 60 to 90% in her feminine energy, and the man is 60 to 90% in his masculine energy. And it's healthy as long as us women is dominantly in our feminine energy, and the man is dominantly in their masculine energy. long term, this is what's healthy for both the men and the women, and this is what sustains a relationship, keeps the relationship romantic. You know, when the woman keeps doing all the masculine things, she loses attraction and respect for the man long term. And I've been there, you know, because I was spending for the man. I was the masculine. I was wearing the pants. I was doing all the heavy lifting, and so I found myself no longer attracted. Like I didn't even want to have sexy time with the man anymore at some point. And at the time, I didn't understand myself yet. I didn't understand all these relationship dynamics yet, and that's why I started my journey on learning all about them. And that's why I'm happy to share all these with you. It's my desire. I feel great, delicious in my body doing this, being on this video, showing up in this video, sharing what I've learned, with the intention to make my message land in at least one person's consciousness, world, energy field, and may it shift at least the trajectory of where she's going, how she's showing up in the world. Because my journey to getting here, I also learned a lot. I invested a lot of time watching a lot of YouTube videos, investing on seminars, on coaches, and yeah, that's what got me here. And my intention is to pay it forward, share what I've learned. This is my intention and desire. This is not something I'm doing to get. God's got me. You know, the high value woman knows that God is her supply. God provides. God always has her back. The true high value woman, she knows that when she's just doing the right things, when she's just doing what she feels aligned in her heart and her soul, she's connected to God's supply. She's connected to God's divine provision. And so, yeah, a truly high value woman knows that she's the prize in love in romantic relationship. When you're connected to your high value sovereign queen woman, main character, and you're the main character in your life, you amplify your feminine magnetism. Of course, you're also gonna wanna be in a relationship with a man who also knows that he's the prize. You know that, but a truly high value man who is the prize in his life, he also knows that the woman that he truly, truly, truly wants is the prize in his life. And so he will act accordingly. You know, he knows he's the prize in life. The man knows he's the prize in life. But he knows that the woman he truly, truly wants, truly, truly desires, is the prize in romance, you know? So, but you won't find that man, you won't attract that man if you yourself first and foremost don't believe that about yourself. You know, if you're not connected to your inherent value, to the queen within you. So the journey really is just about connecting to that queen within you, to that sovereign, powerful, creative, beautiful, benevolent queen spirit within you, and show up in the world as her. That's what a true high value woman is. In the past, I used to date a lot of, because I used to think money was hard to make. You know, I used to have this program, that limiting beliefs, that you can only get rich by marrying a rich man, you know? So I would date some men who were showing me they were rich, they were spending for me, they had nice cars, they were spending for me in the beginning. But then something within my energy, within my consciousness, told me this is not quite the one yet. But I don't know, let's see. Let's date him. And because my intention from the get-go was not aligned to my highest good, to my spirit, it was aligned to my limiting beliefs that man is source of money. Those men were not really aligned to my spirit, aligned to my high value self, because I was operating from my low value beliefs about myself, low value programming, low value beliefs about relationships, about men. I was operating from that. So the men I was attracting, the relationships I was attracting, was also from that low value place, you know. And so yeah, this journey from there, I used to date criminals, drug dealers. They had a lot of money. Their money were in rubber. They didn't have credit card, ATM, but Their money were in baskets, in paper bags, in rubbers. But yeah, they weren't aligned. And so at some point, I would always have like like some men supporting me financially, or some men I was getting my sexy time need from. I'm human. I'm being, vulnerable and authentic and honest with you. But I was making men a source of my need, instead of making myself and God the source of all that I think I need and that I desire. And yeah, so every time the man didn't feel like giving it to me, I would get hurt, butthurt, batshit crazy. I felt unloved. All my 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 core wounds would show up. And core wounds, I also talked about it in my ebook, Awaken the High Value Queen Within. So we have three core wounds: wound of abandonment, wound of unworthiness, not being good enough, and wound of betrayal. We have all those wounds. So all those wounds would come up in all those misaligned relationships. But it's all good. It's all good. There were lessons learned from that. I've grown to this woman now. If I'm very grateful to my past version of myself, to the men I was dating in the past, because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have been where I am now. I wouldn't have known what I know now. I wouldn't have learned the lessons I've learned now. Because sometimes, as part of our human experience, we'll learn via contrast. Um, Sometimes we need to experience what we don't want in order for us to become clear of what we truly want. Just like I thought I wanted rich men, but a lot of rich men I dated before were controlling, were rich from ways that were not integrous. And so I realized, no, I don't want just a rich man. I want a rich man who's was a great character as well. Who's good looking. I'm physically attracted to him. I'm emotionally attracted to him. I feel safe with him. I truly, deeply respect and trust him, and he does the same to me. There's mutual respect, mutual trust. And so I learned that in order for me to attract that man, so that's my intention. So now my energy is open to that man. I've already set that intention. I know that intention is working in the spiritual world, in the unseen world, and I know it's coming. The high value woman knows that whatever she desires, whatever her true intentions are, it's coming. It's inevitable. She's gonna manifest them, and they're gonna be in her life no matter what. And and she knows she doesn't have to betray herself, abandon herself, do things she hates, do things she doesn't want to do, to get those, to make those things happen. The truly high value woman, she knows that the more aligned she is with her spirit, the more she operates in her life aligned with her spirit, with integrity, with God, with spiritual laws of abundance and manifestation, which I also spoke about in my ebook, the faster she's gonna manifest whatever she wants to manifest. So yeah, I'm gonna stop my sharing here for this episode. I hope you got value out of this. And this is my Cody. This is my Cody love. Mm, mm, mm. This is my, for now, this is what helps me regulate my nervous system. Aside from all the breath work and the meditation that I do, a pet that you truly love and loves you is also a good source of of your nervous system regulation. Thank you for tuning in. And if this episode sparked something inside you, it's an invitation for you to step fully into your power and claim her and show up in life as her, show up in your dating life as her. And the fastest way to do that is to either work with me one on one or join my group coaching program, where we're going to identify all the limiting patterns that are holding you back from showing up as her, showing up as the woman that you truly deserve to show up as, the woman who is honoring of her true self, the woman who knows she's the prize in life and especially in love. The woman who chooses men from her worth. The woman who goes to the dating apps and goes to actual dates and speaks to men on the dating apps and in physical dates as her, as the prize. So I'm gonna put all the links down below to my ebook, to video course that's based on the ebook, to my coaching, or you can send me a message, or you can go to my website, rhinaljoycalling.com. And I'd love to hear from you, so comment down below. Thank you. I love you. I see you. You are the prize. So crown up queen, and let's do this.